I might know the truth behind getting a six pack now, but I didn't always know how to get in shape.
Being overweight not only destroyed my confidence, it affects millions of other men today. But what if I told you I found a 5-step protocol that finally let me get shredded? When I walked into class during my first day of 10th grade, I knew I had found the one. She was blonde, had blue eyes, and most importantly, after doing some digging, I found out she was single. I didn't care how overweight I was. I knew this was my chance to finally get the girl of my dreams. I would have asked this girl, we'll call her Sadie, out right then and there, but there was one glaring issue. I knew that if I asked her out in my current shape, I would get a cold, hard no. I was being realistic. I mean, look at me. I wouldn't date myself either. I knew that I had to lose weight, and fast. With a girl that pretty, it was only a matter of time before other guys found out about her existence. My mission to lose weight was a go. Sure, I had failed many times in the past, but this time it was different. I swore the weight was coming off. I began doing hours of research. I watched video after video on the fastest ways to lose weight. I figured it out. Most of the videos I saw told me to try one of 3 weight loss strategies: aggressive cutting, intermittent fasting, and keto. I decided to do all 3 at once. Triple the diet, triple the results. A foolproof plan. I thought to myself, I'll have abs in no time. Around this time, me and Sadie started to talk. Yes, it was just about some homework questions I had, but I figured it was good to have some sort of connection, even if I couldn't ask her out quite yet. I was in love. Not enough to stay consistent on my diet though. Doing everything at once was harder than I thought. I tried everything. I knew there had to be something that I was missing. Some piece of the puzzle that once I put together would get me the body of my dreams. The semester had flown by, and as I walked through the hallway to go to class, I overheard some guys talking. Sadie, yeah, she's pretty bad. I'm gonna have to get on that. My stomach dropped and I asked myself, did I just run out of time? That night, after spending hours angry crying in my bed, wondering why I was such a failure and why I could never stick to a diet, it finally hit me. I realized what my true problem was. It wasn't that I didn't know enough about weight loss or I was following the wrong diet, I just had the wrong mentality. Over December break, I used my newfound strategy. It was working. I finally stayed consistent. Every week I checked the scale, and it was dropping fast. By month 1, I was down 10 pounds. School started back up and my confidence was increasing. Month 3, 20 pounds down. I finally took the hoodie off that I wore to school every day. By month 5, I had lost 30 pounds, and for the first time in my life, I actually started to like how I looked. Around this time, I was sitting in class, bored from reviewing for final exams. Our class was way ahead, so we weren't really doing much. I knew it was the perfect time to finally ask out Sadie. It was now or never. I lost some weight and school was ending in a month. I already knew exactly what I was going to say. I mean, I had a whole year to plan for this moment. My heart was pounding through my chest, getting faster and faster as I went up to her. Playing it cool, I said, "You should come to Jessica's party with me this weekend." I heard everyone's going. I didn't care that I was barely invited to the party myself. She didn't have to know that. Time slowed down as I waited for her to answer. After what felt like an eternity, her lips started moving. Sure, I'll have to check with my parents, but that sounds fun. It worked. That night, I was so happy I cried. I realized that weight loss isn't a physical battle. It's all mental. Once I learned how to change my mindset behind weight loss, I finally saw results. I don't want you making the same mistakes that kept me stuck for years. That's why today I'm going over the 5 mental shifts that I had to make in order to finally see my abs. Once I learned how to do these things, fat loss became like a video game. I defeated mental bosses left and right. And don't worry, these mental shifts make life easier, not harder. Before I go over the ways to think though, I need to tell you about some of the ways of thinking that kept me stuck for years. First was being ungrateful for the food that was in front of me. This kills any chance for success. When I wasn't thankful for the food I just ate, right when I finished my plate, my mind would wander to the foods I could have had instead. Even though I was full, I was already thinking about more food. Once I was able to appreciate how lucky I was to even have food in front of me, I not only enjoyed my meals more, bussin'. My abs started popping out. Next is comparison. My brother and I are completely different. I was always the overeater, the one who would crush the ice cream in the freezer. My brother, on the other hand, could eat one bite of food and be satisfied. He had no urge to eat, and I was jealous. Comparing myself to him gave me an excuse for my overeating. It helped me justify why I had it harder than him and losing weight was just impossible for me. At the end of the day though, I had to ask myself, are these excuses actually helping me lose weight? Obviously the answer was no, so I stopped comparing. The last mistake was overthinking. Don't get me wrong, fat loss can be hard. There will be times when giving up feels like the only way out. During these times, I would ask myself, is it going to be this hard forever? No, it won't. And thinking about sticking to a diet forever just made things worse. Thinking about doing anything forever is overwhelming. I don't want to have to brush my teeth another 10,000 times, but just doing it today is easy. The truth is, I don't even know how long my forever is going to be, so I'm just focusing on today. Focusing on the small wins each day has led me to see big results over time. Jesus says it best, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. With that being said, here are the 5 mindset shifts I made to get me shredded. The first thing I had to do was take accountability for my actions. I realized that no one could put in the work for me. I had to make the change myself. For the longest time, I thought that I couldn't lose weight because of all the things that were outside of my control. The type of food my mom bought, the cravings I had, even the genetics that God gave me. I didn't understand that by placing the blame on things that were outside of my control, I was actually giving them power. I let them hold me back, all to protect my ego so I didn't feel bad about myself. Once I stopped focusing on the things I couldn't control and started making changes to the things I could, everything changed. Sure, accepting that it was my fault that I was overweight stung, but it was well worth actually seeing progress. I also realized that fat loss seems so hard because I never made it past the hardest stage, the beginning. Those first 2 weeks of changing my bad habits were the hardest. I learned that if I had just stuck it out a little while longer than I used to, I would actually get into a routine. It's like when my mom told me to shower as a kid. I never wanted to because it felt like a chore. But now that it's a habit, I do without thinking. On most days. There's no getting around it. Weight loss will be hard. I always wanted a good body, but I was afraid of the hardship that came along with getting killer abs. I finally realized that not losing weight was actually way harder. Looking back, I promise you the pain of insecurity and regret I felt is way worse than spending a couple nights hungry. The truth is, there's going to be hardship on both sides. I could either grow as a person by facing the pain of losing weight head on, or I could just do nothing and face the pain of regret every time I looked in the mirror. Accepting that there was hardship on both sides was key to me staying consistent when I thought about giving up. When trying to lose weight, my mind also played a lot of tricks on me. Thoughts would pop up in my head like, this is useless, I still look awful, or we can mess up for one day. It's important to recognize these thoughts right when they come. Once they pop up, call them out. I'm talking literally, like say them out loud and disagree. If you're by yourself, that is. I'm not saying you have to look like a crazy person. Doing this allowed me to start recognizing when I was being tempted. Trying to fight negative thoughts without being able to recognize them is like trying to plug in your iPhone in the dark. It's freaking impossible. We already know that losing weight can be difficult, and eating out can make things 100 times more complicated. Restaurant food is amazing and packed with calories. It's hard not to overeat. If you live in a house where your family eats out all the time or your friends are always going out, it can be hard to lose weight. It took me a while to learn that I could simply say no. I wasn't trying to be rude or hurt anyone's feelings. Learning to say no can be hard, but it gave me a new level of self-respect and commitment towards my goals. If this video helped you, drop a sub. Good luck on your journey and do something hard today. I promise you, you'll be better for it.